sometimes when you feel like you're alone, the friends that are not your BFFs, but people that you have right around you are also looking for a new friend. They're also the ones wanting to make new friends. You might have friends in plain sight that are feeling the same as you because nobody wants to admit that they're lonely. Nobody wants to admit that they don't feel good around some of their other friends. So take a gander and be like, this is an acquaintance that I always thought was really, really nice. Wow, I never thought about like being friends with them. Let me tell you about the time that everybody at my work thought I was hungover, when in reality, I just had terrible motion sickness. Let me take you back. It was a week ago. I was riding in an Uber, 5 a.m. Lights came on. Trivia questions.
Was that your like
cash
hook?
cab?
Was that your hook
Yeah.
for like a?
Yeah.
I felt like I was reading like a English paper in college.
It sounded like you were listening to a book that was really bad in school.
Yeah, it is how I felt. Okay, are you sharing your straight kind of moment?
No, it's a dumb one, but I wanted to share it because if
Okay.
anyone can relate to this.
Keep going then.
I got hit by I should say, I was about to say I got hit by a car. No, I got rear-ended and my neck was turned a really weird way. And ever since then I've had like weird, almost like vertigo-y, but like dizziness. Okay.
Yep.
When I got in that cash cab Uber, it wasn't actually the cash cab, but it looked damn like it. And the music was loud.
Wait, was that? What was that like?
I put on my story.
I'm having deja vu about cash cab now.
Really?
Well, like,
But I was in the back of it and we were flying around.
no, but I forget what cash cab is.
Welcome to the cash cab. You don't remember that?
You had to like guess something, then you could win money. It was like trivia.
Okay. It was trivia in the
I
car
remember.
while they were riding around.
Yeah.
And
with
guess
like
what?
lights.
I don't think I've ever answered one of those questions correctly. I used to watch it all the time. Anyway, we get in the car. We're, stop, go, turn around the corner. Wow, the lights are flashing. The music's going. There's a lot of music, like Katy Perry going on.
Where are you on your, like, where are you going?
I was going from my New York hotel to the New York Lifetime to do an event. And I had to be on the minute I got there. Like the CEO is going to be there, all the things. I look at the thing. It's 20 minutes until we get there. I'm like, holy shit.
Oh shit.
I'm like, I better figure out if there's a barf bag near me or what's going on. But mind you, I had 2 cocktails the night before. Nothing crazy. Like nothing that would take me over the edge. Okay. We get there and I'm trying to hold it together and I'm doing the lip quiver. Like little quiver. And I'm like, I'm just going to go use the restroom really quick. I turn pale white.
And you get that like tickle.
Oh.
You get the tickle like behind your ears, like in the back of your throat when you know you're going to puke.
Oh, and I did. And and then I went to the bathroom. I'm like, pull it together. And you're like holding your lip in, like you can feel it, but you're like, hold it together. Cause once you start, it's going downhill. I felt like I thought you'd feel
better if you puked.
Well,
but you didn't.
No. And then I puked like 10 times.
Oh my
but I
God.
felt like I was on a roller coaster and I kid you not. I would go show up to the event. I was white in the face. People probably thought I was hungover. I was not hungover at all. I was literally just dizzy as hell. I'd lift a few weights because that was like part of the event. And then I'd be like, excuse me for a minute. And I'd go to the bathroom. Bah! Like,
You're like,
horrible.
no. You're like, no, I swear it's just like motion sickness. It's not because I went ham on the night before an event. Oh,
because I didn't.
Yeah,
and then I told my buddy, I'm like, I need like help. Like, and he's like, I used to have the exact symptoms you're having after getting out of a car if I wasn't driving. And he's like, from getting a concussion from an accident.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, really? So anyway, long story short, I have a specialist I'm going to go to. And he was like, he'd be a really good guest for your podcast because he specializes in like all these like neurological things and that are really interesting and nuances that we like think are just normal when really they're not normal. Like you need to go get them checked out.
Like what?
Like the dizziness I'm having is like totally not like something you should just leave, which probably makes sense. But you're like, oh, I was just a little nauseous. Maybe it was the drink I had, Anyway, so I puked in front of everyone that I know at my work.
So Syd showed up to work hungover.
No, God, don't even spread the rumor.
I know, now
I could
it's
lose
like-
my job.
Now it's like a clip and it's just like goes viral.
So I showed up. No, I'm kidding. No, but I definitely wasn't hungover. And hi, everyone. How we doing today?
Hi, guys.
Did you like my audiobook entrance?
That was beautiful.
It wasn't very good.
It caught my attention right off the bat.
Am I not funny anymore? Do you think?
No, you're funny.
Lie. Your voice went so high. Do you think I'm not funny? No, seriously. Am I not funny anymore?
I think
Taylor, will you tell me?
Sometimes.
Oh, what was the pause?
She's so honest.
Taylor.
We're all funny sometimes.
I know, but I feel like I've
I'm
lost my tickle.
I think you're funny when you're yourself. Yeah.
I think
I lost my tickle.
I think I lost my tickle. Taylor's
so
on the mic,
good.
by the way. We should introduce Taylor. Taylor, she's not on the camera, so you can't see her. Sorry, boys and girls. She is my sister, my younger sister. She goes to U of M, University of Minnesota. Go Gophs. And she's helping us. She's going to be one of the Stray Kid interns.
Yeah. And if you're wondering, because you can't see her, she's hot and she looks like Syd. So.
Yes. Who's hotter?
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. We're hot in our own
I
ways.
would
Love
literally,
you.
I would date both of you guys. So
Yay.
if you're wondering, yeah, Tay KK. What's your Instagram?
Tay K, right?
Yep, TTK.
Say hi to the people.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, good. I love it.
So cute.
Do you have a straight kind of moment?
Yes, obviously.
Uh-huh.
I thought I had a few, but now I can only remember one, so I'm going to share it. So this weekend, my boyfriend and I did a little like staycation at the Hewing Hotel,
So
and it was
cute.
so cute. So fun. Whoa. It's like I just got so nervous, but really, I just had a tickle in my throat.
So cute. So fun. I'm like, what? Where do we go? What happened?
Do you guys notice when guests come on, I actually do like get really reserved and quiet, and I don't know what to do.
Your voice goes from being like this to being like this.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm really like. I'm never nervous for podcasts when it's just you and I, which actually is the ones I should be nervous for because it's literally all of us talking and no guests. God. But when you have guests on, I like cannot. I don't know. I just like all of a sudden think about talking to a stranger and then I get nervous and then I don't know what to say.
I do get sweaty pits when a guest comes for sure.
Oh my
Not as much with you
gosh.
anymore. Also, that studio made me hot that we were in before.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just was always profusely sweating. It was a lot going on.
It's because this is like a little more cozy and comfy. But like, yeah, last week when we had Candace on, I was just at the end of it, I don't remember what I was like, I appreciate you.
You go, we really appreciate you being here.
It's just not good. Anyways, so
Whatever.
if you notice that when we have guest episodes, sorry, not sorry, we're candid. That's how it works.
That's
Sorry,
how it
I
goes.
get nervous. But no, my straight kind of moment, back to it. So we had a staycation at Hewing and it was so cute, so fun. And we decided we're going to eat at the Hewing Hotel downstairs because I had heard something about this burger. Like I thought I did, maybe I didn't, but I was craving a burger. So we go down there and I noticed they didn't have anything vegan on the menu. And my boyfriend is vegan, by the way. So my boyfriend also never advocates for himself unless he thinks it matters. And I'm like, but don't you want to eat? He's like, yeah, but like I can just go to like Sweet Green down the street. I'm like, but we're here. Like, why don't you just ask to see if they have a vegan menu? And he's like, it doesn't. So I'm like, I'll advocate for you. So this guy comes over and Pat's like, you don't have to ask. Like, it's really not a big deal. Like, whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he comes over. I'm like, yeah, I'll have a margarita. And then just wondering, do you have a vegan menu? And the waiter's like, oh, no, we don't. Like, we're kind of behind the times. We actually don't really have any vegan things.
Surprise.
I'm like, oh, dang, that's okay. Like, thanks anyways. He comes back and this other waiter comes by and she ended up taking our order. Like they were bouncing around because we were at the bar top and stuff. Or the high tops. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get the burger. And then the previous waiter comes back around and the little girl in the pink shirt, me, was asking for a vegan menu. Was that just thrown out there?
Why did you just the little girl in the pink shirt?
Because I started eating this big juicy beef burger. And I
so
was the one who asked for the vegan menu.
So what?
And he literally was like, he like double took. And I saw him looking, I'm like, oh my God, he thinks that I like just broke my veganism for this big juicy burger. So I was like, I like kind of waved at him and he came over. I'm like, by the way, I'm not the vegan one. He is. And he was like, what?
Well, it is surprising when you see Pat. Like,
he was like,
I'm not going to lie.
No way. So like my big muscle bodybuilder boyfriend, he was like, no, you're vegan? And she's what? And I was like, yeah. And then we ended up talking. He's a drag queen actually. And we follow him on Instagram now. But
where does he do drag at the rooftop?
He does the rooftop Union.
We should go to the Union rooftop for drag.
know.
That would be so much fun.
I've always wanted to.
Me too.
I've never done it.
Oh my God.
Okay,
we
that'll
should do
be a candid candid
Probably-
outing.
He probably thought this poor girl. She couldn't have anything to eat, so she decided, I guess I'm breaking my streak.
Yes, I'm gonna have that bloody burger.
Oh my!
But
it
let me
looked
tell
good.
you guys, if you go to the Parlor and you're from Minneapolis and you've had the Parlor burger, which is like, yeah, the best burger ever. I loved Hewing, and I'm gonna tell you right now,
Don't say it.
I like it better than
Don't
Parlor
say
burger.
it. Don't say it.
It was
That's rude.
so good. Oh,
I'll have to try for myself because I'm a burger connoisseur. I also make an amazing burger at home, so that I need to make for you too.
Yeah.
Oh, you will literally
go to
wet your willies. It's so good.
Oh, we should go to Hewing together and get one. But then I also kind of want you to make me
We could do it. Also, we could do it the night that you, me, and the boys do our episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, a little hint, you guys.
Also, I was so bummed because Sophie couldn't come to my B-Day party with Pat because they also had 2 early mornings right before. Or my birthday party. No, it wasn't my birthday. Sorry.
Or was
the
it?
birthday party that I threw. It's all about me. No, Jordan turns 54 and he's going to be, no.
Wait, I literally didn't even flinch. I didn't even flinch.
Jordan turns, okay, ignore, 32. Anyway, and his birthday's in like a week and a half, I think, but we're going to be gone for his birthday. And then I'm gone the following weekend for a few days. And I was like, okay, what would be, because I just love catching Jordan off guard.
I can't wait to hear this recap, honestly.
So basically I thought, okay, better for Halloween, I dressed up as Jordan. He dressed up as me. What would be the best birthday party ever? If Jordan was surrounded by the people he loves most, which is himself. So I thought, good idea to wear everyone to dress up like Jordan for his birthday party. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do this thing. So I wore my beard that I wore for Halloween, got all dressed up. So I'm setting up, okay? Jordan was napping. So this is how it went about. Setting up, Jordan was napping, so I thought, I'm putting out the golf stuff. He can't see me. He starts creeping down the stairs, and like the room is kind of set up like ready for a party. And I turn around in my beard, and he scared the shit out of me. Like I was scared because he was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh," because I thought he was asleep. But then imagine me scared in a little weird beard on my face, dressed as a man golfer with my hair up and a hat.
And he thought you guys were leaving to your friends
to go to our friends,
and you're wearing a beard and a hat.
And I'm wearing a beard and an outfit that doesn't accentuate my features. Let's just put it that way. I look very interesting. And he was like, "What is going on?" And he was so tired. He had sleepy eyes. He goes, He's like, am I awake? Dreaming? He goes, "No, what's going on?" And I'm like, "I'm having a shrine for you." And I was just trying to confuse him because I knew he was just so tired. And he goes, "I don't understand. I don't get it." Courtney texts me. She's like, "I'm here." Courtney walks in, full beard, hat. And he goes,
so she also dressed up like
yes,
Jordan.
It was comedic. Like, I just was so proud of myself because I had like, Courtney had gotten little coins. So we pretended those were like crypto. And then
God.
I put like a little mini golf thing on the table, and then I made Courtney made a cocktail. It was the crypto cocktail, and I made like a hole-in-one, it was called. So I dyed it green and put a cotton ball on like a toothpick.
That's so cute.
It was really like, I was proud of a birthday party I threw, and I didn't realize I liked to throw parties. Like I was having a really fun time.
Honestly, if I had like a really cute like kitchen and like gathering area, it's like a good home to throw a nice gathering.
Yeah,
like I would
the
love
open area.
that. I would love that.
It's kind of like a hobby, honestly. Like hosting is kind of like a hobby. I don't know why.
No, I agree.
You're really good at it.
So I'm someone who like always wants like option snacks out, like things like that. So I literally clean, and Pat's like, my mom's coming over. I'm like, well, we have to clean and we have to like at least have a few like options for snacks on the counter.
You're
and
so
he's
good
like,
at that.
what? Or like if you come over, you're like, I'm a little hungry. I go, sit down.
She goes, "Sit." No, seriously, sit. And then she's like over in the kitchen wrapping a piece of ham and some cheese and frying it, and then has like snacks over here. And she goes, "You got to try this. Come here." Gets a spoon, like jabs it in your mouth. She's like, "Come here, honey." I'm like, "I'm hungry. Okay, I'm not hungry anymore. Come on, I made you another one. You got to try this." I'm like, "Okay,
like, eat it, bitch."
I know. I'm like, "Geez."
No, I just love little options.
I love the options. You know what though? You're a good friend.
You're a good friend too, baby.
You know that?
You were offering to make me a burger, and now I'm thinking, like, do you have the ingredients?
I don't have the meat, but I could get the meat. It's right down the road. Okay, Akashi beef.
Maybe that sounds so freaking good.
Speaking of
Wait,
good
are you
friends,
done with Straight Kind of Moments?
Oh yeah, you?
Yeah, I can be.
Something else you'd like to share?
Well, now it's just gonna seem so random and too try hard. I feel like.
Do you have to tell it now, or are you gonna wait? You should. I mean, if you have something, you should definitely tell it.
Okay, yeah, I'll share it because I had a few people respond to my Straight Kind of Moment on episode
109.
109 when we talked about fitness stuff. Was that 110?
Well, yeah, 110. That just came out today.
Yeah, well, people are gonna be confused.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So episode about fitness, I shared about Pat whipping his weenie out occasionally, and I had a few people be like, "My boyfriend does this too." So I got a new one, and I guarantee no one's boyfriend's done this.
Okay, go ahead. I'm excited.
So Pat likes to watch when I pee sometimes. He'll be like, "Can I see you pee?" And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I just think it's funny." He's like, "I think it's funny." No, that's not even the weird part.
I'm scared. Every time I'm getting nervous when you say that's not the weird
He
part.
goes, "Can I wipe you?" Sid just crossed her arms and laid back.
I'm literally passing away. What does that even mean?
I was like, I was in a good mood and like feeling like, okay, sure. I was feeling goofy. I'm like, sure, yeah, you can try to wipe me. So he grabs like toilet paper and he like folds it up nicely. And I lean back and he just dabs. And it was like the cutest little dab. And he goes, Wee, that was the first time I've ever wiped someone's pee.
Oh, does he wish he was a nurse or what?
I don't
What is his
know.
obsession?
And then he just clapped and then he left. And that was that.
Pat is like a caricature. Like I don't even know how else. Like you're like what? How did that?
I told Pat when you were like, you guys are too. What'd you say?
Oh, wait, from last episode when you were telling the story.
Yeah, you're
what'd
like,
I say?
You're like you're you're two little elves just
You
having
are.
sex.
It
And
is.
he goes, that's funny.
It's like oh my god. You guys,
but yeah,
okay,
that was
I
just
have no
something-
comment. I don't even know how to. I don't even know.
Yeah, you don't need to have a comment, and it was really weird, and I don't even think that's candid, but I thought I would share because it was just so strange. And if I'm sharing too much about you, Pat, like let me know, but I don't even think he listens. So.
All right, so we're just gonna keep on sharing. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Either way, I appreciate you telling me I'm a good friend
because you are.
I appreciate.
And you know what else?
Telling me that, and I appreciate that you're a good friend.
I love the appreciation, and there are a lot of bad friends out there.
Yes,
and that's why today and today only, we're going to talk about bad friendships, like literally the nasty ones, the ones that are like, ick, the bad friends, and how to make new ones, because we haven't touched on that in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's been a hot sec since. And we all are like, well, people listening, I would hope that you can kind of reflect on the friends that you used to have and the friends that you have now and see a little bit of a difference, if not a difference, some sort of balance in that. Like maybe one balances the other out, or maybe you said goodbye to a friend and maybe it's hanging heavy on your heart, because I remember I had one of those for a little while, but it's necessary. So we're going to talk about all the things encompassing of bad friends and how to make some good ones.
I have a question right off the bat.
Oh,
for
okay.
Actually, both of you.
Oh, okay. Me? Oh,
so
all right.
So I agree. I think this conversation is very important, and especially like we are so in this life where we pay so much close attention to detail with everything we do. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, like we are talking about tracking your protein, but yet we are hanging out with these people all the time, and we don't audit through our own friends, and we don't like filter out our own friends. So that is very interesting to me. So I think this conversation is good because maybe you will question, self-reflect a little bit about the people you have in your life. But my question is, what do you think, like, why do you think male friendships are easier, or if you think they're easier?
I have a thought, but you do too, Tay. You can go ahead if you want.
Okay, the first thing that comes to mind for me is I feel like with men, when they don't like someone, they don't hang out with them.
Yeah.
Like they don't associate. It's not like always that they're telling them that they don't like them, but they just make it known who their real people are, and they hang out with those people, and that's that. It's much easier than I feel like women.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I think it like the way that we measure like social success is different for men and women. Careful with the mic, Tay. You need to set it somewhere else. That's going to fall.
Put it on your lap.
Put it on your lap. Like the way we measure like social success for men and women is a little bit different. Like men are like, get good at the sport. You know what I mean? And like women, it was like, you know, you have a lot of friends and you like probably the popular group because that's who everyone's talking about. And that's the people that everyone likes. And I feel like guys, they don't take things as seriously, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not sure.
That's what I wrote.
But oh, did you? And I'll just finish that thought because I want to hear what you wrote then, because I think they were told to be a little bit more removed from their emotions, and that is a pattern in many of men, if not all, you know, just of how things, you know, how people have grown up in the past. So I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that they just like don't take things seriously because they don't let it bug them, because if it bugs them, then they'll obsess, but they're like, I'm not going to get to that. So
they're just like, it's not that deep.
Yeah. It's
not not that deep. Like you don't like someone, you're like, cool. Like we don't hang out, number one, or number two, dude, that like, why did you do that? That was stupid. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you felt that way. Okay, cool. You want to go shoot some hoops? Like it's literally, they say how they're feeling in the moment, and girls, I feel like, avoid it. And because you're afraid you're going to hurt someone's feelings. So I notice the way I interact with like my male friends versus my female friends. If a guy says something or does something, I'm like, why did you do that? That was so lame. Like, oh my God, like don't do that. And they're like, I address it in the moment.
Oh,
with girls, I notice sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. And then I end up not saying anything. And then it builds up and then it builds up. And that is how I'm like, why? So I asked some of my guy friends about this question, and they were like, men are just more logical and less emotional. And that was like the gist of the whole thing. And I'm like, makes so much sense.
Well, that's just like even how I hear Jordan talk about things. I'm like, doesn't that piss you off? He's like, not really. He's like laughing. And then he's on to the next thing. And I'm like, yeah, what? I'm like, if someone did that to me, I'd be like, what the Like, are you kidding me? I'll come find your house. I'll beat you up. Not actually. I would never beat anybody up.
Yep.
But you know what I mean? I'm like, how do you not care? But
just move on.
It's not that they don't care. They just maybe have a better process of getting rid of the thing. But also on the flip side, maybe they don't process emotions as much and like don't reflect on it. They just get rid of it so it doesn't piss them off.
I know.
I don't know.
I wish there was like a happy medium because I do think we could learn a few things from them. I'll be honest. Yeah. Which is why I feel like making male friends for me and keeping male friends is like, I enjoy being around men a lot.
I do too. And I feel bad. I haven't stayed as close to some of my guy friends that I probably should have, which one of them, Tyler, just called me not literally a week ago and I need to call him back. So Ty, if you're listening, I miss you and I love you. I'm kind of bad with that. I think because sometimes with male friends, I've been with people who are jealous of my male friends. So I think this is really new for me.
That's what I was just going to say. I was going to say you probably were also with people or in a relationship where male friends weren't maybe welcomed.
Yeah, they weren't. I know they weren't. So I think I'm getting used to the fact that like I actually can have guy friends that are not anything more. Like there's no line cross, because on the flip side, I've been with somebody who could not have girlfriends because it did mean that there was something more. Yep. Every single one of them. So I think it's just a balance I have to newly try to find. You know what I mean?
I don't think you're alone with that feeling at all.
Yeah, I know. I only say that just to be like, if you're out there listening, like I get you. Just try to find balance. And if you're with somebody that's making you think that you can't have the opposite sex in friends, there's a boundary, like obviously not an ex. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense really, but you know what I mean? Like a school friend, come on, like get with it.
Second question.
Oh, you have another one. Okay.
What are your friendship icks?
Okay. A lot of people wrote in a lot. I mean, like overwhelming amounts, and the chats are still up right now and they're still coming in.
Y'all had some shit to say.
Holy shit.
But guess what? We do too.
I don't know. All I got to say is if you got to say something to somebody, I think it's time you say something to somebody. Okay. There are a few, I'll read everybody's after, but I'm going to start with a few of ours and maybe we can go tit for tat.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your friendship icks?
And then we can go to listeners. I have an ick. I broke up an ick with dealbreakers too, by the way. I just want to flag that. Like these are icks like I can tolerate, but I'm trying to say something when they happen or like help them see the other side. And if it gets to be too much in these icks, then it's like, bye-bye. I can't handle it anymore. Okay. Only bad news in person when you talk. Like they only have bad news to say. It's always poor me. It's always like my life is in shambles. I broke a nail. It's the worst day of my life. That is so irritating to me. What do you think?
I have something very similar.
Do you really?
Yeah. So I wrote down, they complain about the same thing over and over again, or they play that victim mindset, like poor me, poor me. So that is one of my friendship icks. I only wrote down 3. So that's like one of my big ones.
That's your like big, that's funny that we both have this similar
we both have that. And it's like, they're just like, they think maybe that dumping this like emotional baggage is almost like a form of bonding, but it's not. It's not.
Like if, I had old friendships and we've come a long way now. But if every time you call me, it's something negative, like every single time without a doubt, I pick up the phone and we're going to have to stay on the call like 3 hours because you're going to talk me through something negative. It's not that I don't want to be there for you. Yeah. I just cannot handle carrying that
so
anymore.
Much energy too.
Yeah. And we used to over exude ourselves, like to the point, like in college, especially, and then probably a little bit post college, I didn't have anything left. Yeah. I didn't have any room for my relationships, for my friendships, because I was like, by the time I closed my phone and shut it off and put it beside me, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I went through like a breakup today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, and you're always validating them,
Always.
It's like over and over. It's like just a lot,
It is a lot.
Okay.
Go ahead with your next.
My first friendship ick, or sorry, I guess this is my second now. Cause I also wrote down what Syd just said. So I also don't love neediness in friends. And I got to be careful with how I present this because it can sound a bit harsh if I'm honest.
Am I needy?
No.
Okay.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. No, Syd, you are not.
I got nervous.
Needy. No.
When you're like,
it was, it's harsh because Syd's so needy.
I know. I'm like,
no.
Oh, no.
I just like want to be mindful because I was like trying to talk this through with Pat this morning. He was like, oof. I was like, is it bad? He was like, I don't know. I was just like, he's like, you're a good friend, but that sounds like, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just showing anyways. So
I see what you're saying.
Neediness. I mean, like when someone expects me to text them back right away, especially when we're adults, like we both have jobs, we both have significant others, we have lives, we have a lot of things going on. if you expect someone to text you back right away, you're probably not going to be a friend for me, and I'm not the friend for you. Like I feel like the closest friends I have are pretty independent, and we can go months maybe with grinding on our own, and then we talk again, and it's like we pick up right where we left off, and it's just like sparks flying right away again, because I respect their hustle, they respect my hustle. We understand we don't have to talk every single day. So neediness is huge ick for me. Yeah.
I would say I wrote down not neediness, but I wrote down possessiveness. So like it's kind of, they go a little bit hand in hand, but I agree with the neediness piece is like, I'm never going to be your everyday texter. I'm not going to be that ever. Like we almost lost friendships because of it, but luckily I've had friends that matured with me that were like, I understand that, I get it now. You know what I mean? And I like cherish those beyond belief. There's many people are probably listening. They're like, oh, it's me. I'm like, Emma's one of them. Like we've matured together and it's worked. There's other ones that have not worked because they wanted me to be there every day. They claimed I wasn't a good friend because I couldn't text them every day. I couldn't be there for them. And I'm like, that's not me not being there for you.
That's not fair.
I'm exhausted. And you're not respecting that.
Yeah, that's
and
not
then
fair.
granted, I was exhausting myself in a lot of ways, like overexerting and like trying to get coffee dates and all these things. That's a reference to something later. But anyway, but possessiveness. Sorry, that's where I was going. I'm like, where am I going? Have you dealt with somebody who's possessive?
I've dealt with people that, okay, this is also going to sound bad, but
you're like, everything I say, you're like, shit.
That they think they're my friend, but I'm not their friend. So in terms of like, I see them day to day because maybe we work together or we're at the same place at the same time most of the days, and they keep wanting to hang out and keep wanting to and asking, and I just am not, I've never made plans with them. So yeah. And then they're like, but they have my number, and they'll just keep messaging and
they
things
keep
like
doing
that.
it.
Yeah. Like that type of thing.
I think I've dealt with possessiveness because same iteration as you, but like, I also get it with, I get close-ish with somebody. Let's say like we're friends. We're not best friends, but we're friends. Yeah. And all of a sudden they assume that I'm their best friend because I'm one of their number ones all of a sudden. And I'm like, you're not my number one though yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to have different levels of friendships. But then I'm like,
I don't necessarily agree with that, but keep going.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
But this was also college. So I'm talking more of like that mindset, but
you're my number one.
no, like, but yeah. You know what? It was college. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, but this person, like if I was going to be with anybody else, she would need to be there. Or like, you're going to go hang out with them. It's a Saturday. What about me? It's like, it's a Saturday. I don't fucking know. It's a Saturday. What's wrong with that? Like, why can I not go hang out with my other friends? Like, and it just was this like, got mad at me. It was like always, every time I was around this person, I was worried that she was going to be mad at me, that she was going to have something negative to say, that I did something wrong, that I didn't invite her something quick enough, that I'm not inclusive with her, that I didn't talk to her the whole night. Like it was like
so draining.
It's draining, but then you realize and you flip it and you're like, I'm not doing anything wrong. You're possessive as hell.
Definitely has to do with her attachment style, which I want to talk about later too, because those people that are needy, possessive, definitely have an anxious attachment style, and it probably comes up in all of their relationships.
For sure. You know what I was going to say about friends too, of like how you said, I don't agree with the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't either. I think that there's different friendships for different reasons.
Yes,
that's more what I mean. I more meant like in college, like, you know, you had your best friends and then you had like your tier 2s and your 3s. And it's like, no, there's different reasons for different friends. I think.
Right. I like that. That's a good way to wrap that up for sure. Okay. Last friendship pick I have is, they're competitive in nature. Like obviously if we're playing fucking, I don't know, table tennis, like we better be competitive, but I mean like competitive in terms of boys or looks or getting a certain grade or who has more money or shit like that. So for example, like I had a friend who I think I've like referenced this a few times throughout our episodes, but whenever I was dating someone, she would date someone. Whenever I broke up with someone, they would break up with someone because she didn't want me to be the single one. So
oh, that's really aggressive.
Oh, and just wait. So like if I was dating someone and there was a party with both girls and boys, I would be invited by her. But if there was a party and I was single with both girls and boys, I wouldn't be invited to it.
Oh, so she was crazy insecure about it.
I would be invited if it was an all girls thing. I'm like, What the hell?
She was insecure about you.
It's like, this is horrible. And I was friends with her for a long time.
That's bad.
And it's the same type of people that aren't happy for you when good things happen for you.
I was going to say that. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's an insecurity of somebody else. That's not a you thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I wish I could go back and tell myself that. I'm like,
Same.
God damn it. Like, it wasn't a you thing. It never was. It was always a somebody else. And she just clearly... She was worried you were going to creep on her boyfriend, and that's a you problem, not a her problem.
Yeah.
Or sorry, wait, a her problem, not a you problem.
That's a you problem.
That's a you problem.
And this also reminds me of like people that say rude jokes in front of others to like bring you down. That makes them look a little bit better. Yeah, same idea. Sure.
I had dealt with that for a long time with a friend group. Like a long time.
horrible.
Like where like
Absolutely
I would get shit on and I'm like, okay, like why am I even here? Like why do you want me here?
There's a difference between like a joke.
Yeah.
And like a
low blow.
Like a low blow.
Yeah.
Like a passive aggressive type
Oh,
of shit.
I hate that so much. Oh God.
By the way, we'll tell you like what to do, by the way, if this is
happening.
but
We will.
we're getting there, okay?
We're just let us have the little, tough times. I have to read a few of the things that were sent in because they're just some of them I'm like, what? Excuse me. Like also if these are still your friends, like you gotta it's time to exit the situation, which we'll talk about. My friend borrowed $200 from me and ghosted me. This one was told to get over the death of my father and stop grieving.
No.
Yeah. Yep. I think these ones were rote, but I kind of related to this one. This one was like dating the guys I used to talk to constantly.
Oh.
Like it always turned into like the next person they were talking to. And you're like, what?
Dude, that's just fucking weird.
That's just like not okay. Like period.
No.
Not okay.
Not okay.
This one says, always had excuses why you were left out. That one is relatable beyond belief for me in like probably high school, maybe some college. I don't know. I'm really, really close to my college girlfriends now. So it's like, it's hard to think about like when we weren't all close or like when we had scattered friend groups before. Yeah. But like, okay, here's my thing. If you, and
this is one of my deal breakers.
Seriously?
I think so.
If we are like kind of coming as like a pair, like we're like friends, and let's say Jay invites you to something or like Jay invites me to something, I'm going to invite you. Yeah. Like if he's talking specifically about our group, let's say, you know what I mean? I'm not going to purposely leave you out or I'm not going to be the person that's like, oh no, I'm too small. I can't say anything.
Is that an ick you think?
It's pretty damn close to a deal breaker if I'm being honest, but
can we pause on that one? Cause I have so much more to say.
Okay. Well, let's pause on that one. Okay. We'll come back.
I have a few more funny icks too. So.
Okay. This one says insecure friends asking how they look and if you're mad at them constantly. That was somebody from our what's it called? From our live that wrote that in. I was like, oh my God.
And this next one in quotations. You're so pretty, OMG, I'm so ugly. Is that just not the worst? The biggest friendship ick right there.
Or like, you look so good. I thought we weren't getting ready. And you're like, I didn't get ready. I literally just put a t-shirt on and I comb my hair for the first time in a week.
Wait, you look so good. Like, do I need to like go get dressed or what are you wearing? What are we doing? Like,
I will sometimes say like, sometimes I'm like, and one of my friends and I talked about this, like, I want to know like what we're doing. So I know if I should dress wear. Like, can I come like a potato head or should I like maybe put on mascara? You know what I mean? But I'm like, if you're purposely saying like, no, it's going to be chill. And then you put on a full face of makeup and now all of a sudden we're going to Manny's Steakhouse. I'm like, the hell?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I knew someone that used to do stuff like that.
I'm like, dude, what? Jeez, you want me to look bad? Like, okay, fine. You won, but like, damn.
Or like the same girls that were like, oh, you look better in that outfit, even though it's the worst one on purpose.
This was something I was going to bring up. Taylor, did you have something to say about this?
This just reminded me, I had in high school a girl that she would tell you which outfit you looked the worst in and pick that one. So I would always do the exact opposite of what she told me. So I knew which one she actually liked. Oh, so it was my little thing.
The sad thing is that happens more frequently than we think.
It was how'd you know? You like purposely picked a really bad one time to see what she did.
No, I just knew from her character. I feel like.
I feel like I knew because other friends would be like, no, you look so good in that. And be like, that shirt's not that flattering on you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then the other girl's like, I think you look really good. And you're like, oh my God.
That's how she talks too.
I think you look really good.
What's her name? Like, I just feel
Jiminy Christmas. No, I'm kidding. I'm just making straight up.
It could be like Carol or something.
Carolyn Cracker.
Oh gosh.
The last one that I grabbed was like unaligned values. Like you're no longer aligned in your values, which I think we'll talk about deal breakers. We'll go into deal breakers. How about that?
A few more funny icks. When they have a selfie photo printed and displayed in their bedroom, friendship ick.
That's uncomfortable. That is not even an ick. That is nasty. Okay.
Someone else said attitudes towards COVID vaccine. I feel that.
Attitude. Oh, attitude.
Like your attitude. Yep. Or another friendship ick is hating people for no reason. And I think that's a good one. Yeah.
Oh, that goes into my deal breakers.
Woo! Shall we?
Shall we go skirt my girt into deal breakers?
Skirt. So I want to start with where we kind of paused on the icks about purposeful exclusion. So I think if it's like a run of the mill, it happened here and there, whatever, you accidentally got excluded. Totally acceptable. It's fine. But
agreed.
Purposeful exclusion, especially with mutual friends, that's a no-no.
Oh my God, that's exactly what I was literally. Okay, this is weird. Okay.
If it's on purpose and happening often, despite you bringing it up, then I definitely think you should create distance. And I think it's important to remember that sometimes it can happen accidentally. So try to talk to them about it before jumping to conclusions.
Yeah.
But like being excluded from shit, like I was just talking to Taylor about this. Like in college, I feel like it's a little more difficult because everyone is just in close quarters and we're all chatting and everyone's being invited to everything. But like when you get out of college, I want to let you know that there is hope.
Yeah.
Because I was just telling Taylor, I was like, when I feel like I get excluded from something now, I am literally, all I think is thank God.
Yeah, I know.
I can stay home for the night and like, I'm like, it's okay. Like
it's going to be okay.
It literally doesn't bother me. I don't get FOMO. I want to be home if I get excluded. And it's not even that you're excluded. It's like not purposeful. Do you know what I mean?
I totally get what you're saying. I agree. And like, there are different instances where exclusion actually like is not, it doesn't feel okay. And it's like, what the hell? Like that hurt my feelings. Trust your gut. If it feels really bad, it's probably bad.
It's probably
purposeful.
But
if you have to also check yourself as a jealousy reason, because there was times in college or like even a little bit post-college because COVID, we were all at home, we were stuck. And if one of my really good girlfriends was hanging out with my other really good girlfriend and I wasn't invited, I'm like, okay. Then I had to check myself. I'm like, am I getting friendship jealousy? Maybe a little bit because I'm bored. Probably because they're allowed to hang out one-on-one all they want too. You know what I mean?
Even like sometimes you really don't know. Like, what if they saw each other at the grocery store? Like, oh, come home with me. Let's go like watch a movie. Like, sick. Okay.
So who cares, right?
Yeah.
It's like check yourself. But if it's like, let's say everybody's celebrating the Super Bowl and you're like the one and only person not invited, ask, hey, like I saw you guys all got together. I would have loved to come. And if they're like, oh, sorry, just like got so busy. I'm so sorry about that. If the response doesn't seem genuine, there might be something there. Then you can investigate further and be like, is there something I did? Like, I feel like you've seemed distant lately. That wasn't the first flag. If it was like a genuine, like, holy shit, I forgot to text you. That was my bad.
Yeah.
Did not mean to leave you out. I can totally feel like why you'd feel left out.
And that's also, if you care about the friendship enough to like bring that up and talk about it, then absolutely. If you're like, this is purposeful and I'm being excluded, to be honest, isn't even worth your time to even bring it up, to even talk about it, because it's like, God, there's only so much fucks you can give.
I know. And it's exhausting.
That's not one of them because, those people are probably not your people.
No, they're definitely not your people.
I think I had more to say about this. And so if you are the friend who, let's say me and Taylor. Actually, this would be weird, but let's just pretend. Me and Taylor, I saw her I saw her out on campus and I was like, oh my God, have you had lunch yet? So we go have lunch together. As a friend of you and obviously her sister, what responsibility does the friend have on the person that's being left out to be like, hey, I just want to let you know, if you saw me and Taylor grabbed lunch, the only reason why I didn't invite you is because it was convenient. We were here in the moment. Do you, as a friend of someone, do you have a responsibility to like tell the other person why they weren't invited?
There's two instances for me in this. My big overarching answer is you don't have any responsibility to do that. Yeah. I would say like if you're going to see them later and you're like, you had talked about having plans at night and then you're like, oh my God, I saw Taylor and I grabbed lunch with her because we were both like in the common area and we were chatting and she told me this hilarious story. Like that's an organic way to tell somebody. But one, is there a reason you're afraid of the person finding out? Like why can't they have their own friendships? The other thing is, if you said like, no, sorry, I can't get lunch. And then you went and got lunch with their friend, like that's weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why are you lying? Did you want free like space? And then like you saw her and you're like, oh, I don't want space from you, so I'll get lunch with you. I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then it's also like, what if I purposely left you out?
Yeah.
Because maybe this is obviously not real, but what if I purposely was like, I don't really like Syd as a friend. And then you're like, why did you leave me out? If I really cared about our friendship, I would be like, I'm sorry, this is what happened. If I didn't, I could just be like, hey, like, oh, so sorry, like move on and kind of let that fade out a little bit.
I feel like this is a good time to just say like, how much does a relationship matter to you?
Yeah.
Like, does it matter enough to like say when somebody's pissing you off?
Communicate.
Like, let's say Soph's pissing me off. I'm like, Soph, you're irritating the shit out of me right now. Like, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Because it's clearly not a one way. It's never a one way, by the way. But it's like, how much does a friendship matter? Because if it doesn't matter that much to you, then what are you doing wasting your time anyway?
Yeah. Do you want to fix it?
Yeah, exactly. My deal breaker, I'm going to skip down a few and then I'll just read over a few. But this one is like something we need to talk about. And I'm talking, we're adults. We're in our 20s. You are an adult once you hit 18, okay? Always talking shit about their good friends.
I wrote that one too.
No. Did you really?
Yeah. I said they talk about their other friends behind their back.
No, because the minute that you're talking shit about your good friends, I think, what the hell are you talking about me behind my back when I'm not in the room? Like, that is terrible. It doesn't feel good. It makes me wonder what you're saying about me. It makes me wonder about your character. It makes me wonder, like, what did I do to you? Because you're telling me like she pissed you off because she ate your food. It's like, well, I ate your food one time. Like, shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's not good. It's not a good look on you. It shows jealousy. It shows your character. Here's my only line, and then I'll let you say what you're going to say is, sometimes you need a good friend to vent to.
That's what
Oh my God, you're scaring me. I feel like we're like parallel. I can't even see your thing, by the way.
It's fine to have a moan occasionally, but anything malicious would probably indicate that they aren't as genuine as you would like to believe.
I like that. If it's dirty, then should be a friendship sign of like, oh, who am I surrounding myself with? Like, that's nasty.
Oh yeah, I fucking love venting here and there. Like,
of
you
course
have
you
to.
need to.
But if it's like the basis of your conversations, not a good sign.
No, and like I said, with your good friends, you got to vent. You got to let shit out. You got to talk about the things. You also got to be a little bit like, oh my God, that was really petty. I should have never said that. Like, check yourself a little bit, right? Like, I should have never said that. That was not like a nice thing to do. But we're in our 20s. We are adults. Like, we should not be acting like we're in high school or before. Ick.
And same goes to college, I think too. Like, you're adults by then too. Figure it out. Deal breaker. I guess my last one, because the only other one I wrote was aggressively competitive instead of just competitive. Aggressively competitive was my deal breaker. And that was more so like they aren't happy when good things happen to you. But my last one is, you feel bad about yourself after spending time with them. You feel drained, exhausted, ashamed. And I just want you to know that I feel like your emotions never lie when it comes to this. Friends should make you feel good, empowered, and uplifted. Yeah. If you leave them feeling like crap, then you should probably reevaluate the benefit you're getting from the friendship. Some people, unfortunately, just like to bring others down, and they just aren't happy when good things happen to you and you just feel down every single time you hang out. So
if you can't celebrate somebody else, that's such a bad quality.
And if you just feel like shit when you leave, like, you feel insecure, you feel...
What are they going to say about me when I leave?
Yeah, like it's just, your emotions are so important in that.
Even the emotion of, go ahead, Tay, actually.
I was just going to say, I feel like right now where I'm at in college, I've realized the people that like give me good energy and vibes, and you can kind of, as you get older, I feel like you just understand that, and who do I actually want to surround myself with?
Yes.
And it changes, which is kind of sad when you look at it, but it's also healthy. So
it is very healthy. That. I think, I just lost my train of thought. I had a really good thought on that about...
I'll talk.
Yeah, go ahead. And then
I was just going to say also, like, when you're in college versus out of college, like the friends you make right out of college, now you're like, oh, I have friends from my work or friends from this. You start to find friendships that you find value in because you have some things in common with. And it's not just like, oh, you're put into a dorm room together and that's why you're friends.
Yeah. Oh, the forced friendships. Yeah. You need to you don't need to have anybody as a friend. You need to be cordial with people because that's what adults do. You're cordial and you're mature, but you don't need to be besties. Who said you need to be besties with your roommate, with your coworker, with your, like somebody you work with at a gym or work with at a coffee shop or whatever it is that you're doing? You don't need to be best friends. Also, here's the thing. You don't need to be best friends with your friends' best friends. If you don't like them that much, or maybe you don't not like them, you're just like, you're not my person. I'm more friends with this person. You don't need to be besties with them. Like there is no reason to put all of your effort into that other friend group when it's like, I actually am really content with my people I got over here, which is part of like my realizations when I was talking about in that one episode about San Diego is like, I don't want more friends.
Yeah.
Quality like, I like my people. Like, and it's not that I don't want to, I love making friends, and we're social people. Like we love people. Like you need your off time, but like you love making friends too. Like we like people, like, but I need to cool it because I am actually like content with my life, and I only have enough time for the people that are right in front of me, and they're making all of them make my glass 100% full. So I'm good where I am.
I am going to read this advice question because I want you to answer it almost with whatever you just said, because I think it's a great transition.
Okay.
Do you have more deal breakers?
I did, but let's just do this and then we can come back because I like this.
So she writes in and says, okay, girlies, question about a one-sided friendship. So I met this really cool girl in class this year and we immediately hit it off. We sat by each other every day and would whisper to the entire class, catching up from the weekend. We talked about boys, friends, childhood trauma, friend gossip, literally everything. We had so much fun together. Anyways, the semester wrapped up and I've texted her a few times to hang out and she always seems to be busy. It's confusing though, because when I run into her on campus, she is always so nice and friendly. And I asked about getting coffee soon, which she agrees, but yet we've never actually pulled the trigger, even after I texted her a few times. What is happening? I'm at the point where I feel like I must have done something wrong. I really want to be friends with her.
I hate answering this because I've been there on the other side and it sucks. And I've been on the other side. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, then you can answer. The girl who is getting the text, the one that's like, oh yeah, no, I'll be friends. Like I'll get a coffee with you. She probably just doesn't have time to talk to you. Like she probably doesn't have time. And it's not because you're not a good person in her eyes or unlikable or different things like that. She probably just has a very full plate and you're not a top priority at all because she doesn't really know you. And it's hard to tell somebody that you're not my priority and I actually can't get coffee with you because I'm so busy and I don't even have 10 minutes to myself or 10 minutes that I want to dedicate to you because right now I'm happy dedicating that time to me. Mm-hmm. That's what I think is going on.
I 100% agree with you. And yeah, just like you said, I think the girl just doesn't have the bandwidth to dedicate the time to get coffee with her, but she doesn't want to be rude and be like, no, I don't want to grab coffee. Yep. And from personal experience, like mental health, I feel like my bandwidth when my mental health is really bad, my bandwidth is really small. Yep. And I still have yet to figure out how to answer to people when they do ask things like that, because I like you and I think you're cool, but like you only have so much energy to give, and priority wise, like it's going to be my family, it's going to be my boyfriend, it's going to be those close relationships, and it's going to be the friendships that I already have that I'm doing my best to like water and nurture, like with everything I have. I don't have time to grab coffee with a girl I met in English class. And that sounds so shitty, but like my question is, I guess now I have a question, because how do you tell someone that without hurting their feelings?
Honesty.
Yeah.
Honesty. Like
I've done it it's so awkward.
It's so, I've done it twice probably only, because the other times I just let them fizzle, which is not good. I know, but I'm being better. But I would be honest because I'm like.
So like, here, let me practice. Okay. So this is what I said to someone the other day.
Okay.
And I was like, we should hang out.
Who am I? The girl wanting to get coffee?
It was a guy, but it was
guy
like,
wanting to get coffee.
It wasn't like datey. It was like very friend. I was just like, oh my gosh, like I wish I could. I'm just the podcast right now. Like I'm just really busy and I don't have that much energy. So maybe eventually when things slow down, but right now I just can't.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I just feel like I hurt their feelings.
No, they're not hurting. They need to be adult, mature enough and to know that shit goes on and we're busy. And it's not it doesn't mean a never. It just means like right now I can't. Like who knows if we're going to be running into each other more, and now all of a sudden we're in like mutual friend groups and we're seeing each other out a lot. Mm-hmm. We're getting to know each other out in person, and maybe our friendship grows a little bit without being randoms.
Yeah.
And then maybe you're like, oh, maybe we could get a coffee. My life slowed down. Why don't we just do it?
I also just thought of something.
What?
I think I said this in like a dating episode, but kill two birds with one stone. So maybe you met her in English, but you both really like to work out and you're like, oh, I don't want to say no, but like, do you want to do leg day? Like let's just go, you get your workout in and you like hang out with the
I do like
person.
those.
I've done that before. So
yeah, that's a good
genius.
like double whammy.
Yeah.
Or if you're already going downtown, you're like, I can get coffee from 10 to noon on Saturday. I have a Cairo right before it or something.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh yeah, that works. Make it more convenient for yourself.
Yes.
If you actually want to, but being honest, I think is like, you have to be honest. You have to, like, why not?
Love. Okay. Back to deal breakers.
Okay. A few more deal breakers that I was just going to end on was I wrote down, doesn't let me know when I look like shit. Like always wanting to put me down. Like, why are you not letting me know when I look bad? Like that's mean.
Yeah.
It's like, that's an asshole move. Like, what the hell? If I like actually genuinely look bad and you're like, yeah, we all knew. It's like, excuse me?
Like you have like spinach in your teeth and you're just going through the whole night. Like, what's up?
Or like, this is another one that I just absolutely can't stand because I left this behind in like early high schools. Like when they speak for the whole group. Yeah. All of us think that you're really rude. All of us think that you're really like obnoxious and like all of us don't like you.
First of all, who does that girl think she is? That's such a good one, Syd. I love
Double,
that.
triple, quadruple blinks. Are you kidding? Rude. Wow, I have a lot of things. I'm like, and this and that and this. I wrote down lies and like absolutely not trustworthy.
Yes. Even if
Don't
it's like,
lie to me because I will figure it out. Okay. And that's a threat. No, I'm just kidding.
even if it's like the stupidest lies, like for no reason,
Like,
that bothers me so bad.
Like, why'd you just lie?
Oh God.
I'm like, why lie? What's the point? There's no reason to lie. I should be your friend. You should be able to be like, I double booked myself. I apologize. Like I shouldn't have done that. And I'm like, it's fine. I really don't care that much. It's all good. I'll gladly watch a little television.
There was this girl in high school that I was friends with that would lie about like her family life all the time to get attention. It was just
there was
so
always
weird.
people like that though.
It was so weird.
And you're like, no, or oh my God, when they tell a story, this is not a deal breaker. This is more like, wait a minute. I like side eye you. I'm like, okay, you were there with them and they tell a story and all of a sudden the story is like 25 times more elaborate. And all of a sudden Chris Brown was there and Kanye West. And you're like, they were never there.
Syd, not going to lie, you've done that before.
This is an old me, Taylor.
We've
let her
definitely
go.
Elaborated on
To be honest, I like to tell stories.
No, I was
we
just
like to
gonna
entertain.
I was just going to say guilty for straight kind of moments.
Oh,
absolutely.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but like Pat did wipe my vagina with
that's
a
also
paper
storytelling.
towel. But did he fold it up and like pat it and clap? I don't know. You know? He definitely did clap. So I knew that one.
There's a difference though between straight up lie exaggeration or just storytelling.
Yeah,
there's a difference, right? Like you tell the story. Okay, last one was I kind of talked about this in the last one, but it says became best friends or hookup buddies with my ex that I introduced them to. This has happened to me. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I like to see the good in people and the shadiness. I can't see it right away. And I'd like to think I don't really dislike anybody. Honestly, I really don't. I've like got over most, if not all of them. Most, if not all, I should say. Not all of them. But it's like, why? That is like the biggest slap to the face. What'd you say?
We were both just like, oh, Shannon got over all of them.
I know. Ooh. But it's like, it's the biggest slap in the face to be like, I introduced you to my guy. You consoled me through like kind of like our off-putting like breakup or whatever you want to call it. And then I find out you were hooking up with him?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Are you effing kidding me? Like, I don't even like that turd and I want to fucking punch you.
Absolute deal breaker.
Seriously. And I never would. By the way, violence is never the answer. I'm just going to disclaimer here. I'm never going to hit them, but I will grab your ponytail like I want to.
I know when you're saying that, I know exactly what you're talking about. Sadly.
Such a bummer. Just the betrayal. It's betrayal. That's the feeling of betrayal.
I have even if it was like a friends with benefit situation, usually I give full, okay, we're going to go through this. Like, you're the friend that wants to hook up with my ex friends with benefits. Before you even make any moves, because he was friends with benefits, because it wasn't a serious relationship. Yeah, maybe you want to hook up with him. Okay, whatever. But you would come to me first and address the issue, like, and ask me. And usually, if you do that, I would be like, "Oh my God, it was literally nothing." Like,
go ahead.
I didn't want to date him. That's why I was friends with benefits with him, because he has a lot of issues. So good luck, honey. Have fun.
Good luck. Bye bye.
Good luck. Then yeah, I probably would be fine with it. But like the fact that people are just doing this behind backs is just appalling and shocking.
It's disgusting. It's like, God, just be honest with me.
So
anyway.
shocking. Okay.
That was a lot of negativity, and I apologize. It was because it's like I also want to just reflect on like what do we do if you're in this situation right now?
How do you break up? How do you break up
with a friend?
You have two options.
Go ahead.
You let the friendship naturally fade out.
Yep.
Or you confront them.
I will say I have confronted a handful, and they have not gone as planned.
I've never confronted. I let that shit fade. If you
try.
But here's why I think you confront because you're hoping there can be a relationship salvaged out of it, which is sometimes why people confront. Like maybe they say something that changes your mind, and that's what you're hoping for because you're seeing the good. I didn't. I don't. I should probably.
No, not
sometimes.
if you know. No, not if you know what you want.
Yeah.
Like I would say now I'm in a place where I just have to let things fade. But before it caused me so much anxiety to confront them and just be like, hey, things are not going well, because I knew if I'm having this already anxiety about our friendship and that they're intense and that they make big problems out of little things and all these things, the minute I confront them, I know it's going to be an explosion. I know it's coming.
Yeah.
So confronting them was like, holy shit, I'm diving myself into and off a cliff into the sea. So some of the situations I shouldn't have done that. And I should have let it fade, but they kept reaching out and kept getting more attacking and more, you need to do this and more and more and more. And it was just too much where I had to be like, you know what? I love you and I hope you are amazing and you do all the amazing things you need to do, but I can't be there every day for you. And this is no longer making me feel good.
Yep.
You leave it at that. You don't over explain. You don't send a novel because it won't be received well, guaranteed. And it's never, ever going to stay that way. Like I feel like if you send a novel, they send a novel, another short novel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It just keeps going back and forth.
Let it fade.
The thing is, if you do want to confront it and maybe you think there is hope, sometimes, yes, arguments are healthy. Like
it's true.
They are. And I totally understand that. But the thing is if there's any way for you to get a mediator in there, whether it's a friend that's maybe like mutually friends with both of you, or maybe it's a therapist, do it because that can definitely help too.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I think it's funny because we always have therapists and mediators when it comes to couples and relationships, but like, that's why friendships are hard because there's not really therapists for friends. Like there should be, and there's just not that much language around dealing with friendship relationships versus romance relationships. Like for example, Icks, like we talked about, we have so many Icks when it comes to dating and romantic partners. And it's almost like we get past it because we're like, oh, like maybe I can change them, or it's not that big of a deal. Like he loves me, like it's cute. But with friendships, it's like, oh, they don't believe in COVID vaccines. Like, okay, like not worth my time. Like literally
I see what you're saying.
It's just like so, since it's so platonic, it's easy to just
turn and burn,
baby.
I know. There's a way. I think there's a way to tell if they're salvageable though. It's like, if you feel good most of the time, and there's just a few things that maybe they're not aware of that they're doing. Like maybe when they talk about something that hurts your feelings that they don't even realize is related to you. Like let's say they're talking about something that is more sensitive to you. Yeah. And you're like, they are so good, but they just don't, I didn't tell them about that part about my life, but that hurts my feelings when they talk about it. Have that conversation. That's worth a conversation. If they left you out, but say it was not on purpose, and it's worth having a conversation because you care about them and you believe them.
Yeah.
That is worth having a conversation. If they're any of the icks that we listed above and then some, it is not worth a conversation. At that point, you've got to be like, hey, maybe I'm mature like 10 levels higher than this person. I need to swallow my pride. I need to understand that it doesn't really matter if someone dislikes me because it just doesn't matter.
Yep.
And I need to move forward with my life. If you can lay out, and this is a really sad exercise, but I did it. I hate to say it, but I did it. I wrote out all my friends. I'm dead serious. On a piece of paper.
Syd's such a listy.
I'm a listy girl. And I circled.
I was like, bitch.
I was like,
cross out, red pen.
I circled the ones that I actually want and get excited to nurture because they make me feel good. And because there's something that means something to me.
There's so much to say about the emotions you feel when you like see them or hang out. Yeah.
That will tell you.
That will tell you.
And it wasn't that those were other people were bad friends. No, my God, they were not. They were not at all. I just wasn't as close to them, or maybe didn't have as much of a developed relationship, or the social settings we saw each other in no longer matched where I was from. Like if you were besties with my ex and I was only friends with you for 2.5 years because you were besties with my ex, like
Yeah.
You're not really in my social circle anymore. There's really no reason we need to be besties and be staying in touch all the time.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Can we talk about what you see in those friends? Like, what are some of the best qualities in good friends, would you say?
Do you want me to read? Do you have a list down, or do you want me to go go through?
We'll go every other.
Okay.
I have 3.
Okay.
I did 3 for everything.
How about I'll read 2 in a row and then you read 1. Okay.
Love it.
This one says thoughtfulness, remembering little things,
Love it.
asking about you and asking about the hard shit you're going through.
Oh, key.
Yeah.
Key.
Huge.
My first one is they're independent yet dependable. Self-assured and self-confident. And I think self-confidence is really contagious. So maybe if you are someone that deals with that, like for example, me and Taylor obviously had lots to talk about before when you were on your work meeting, but I was telling her, like, when I first met you, I've talked about this a few times, but you were confident and assured with yourself that immediately I was like, oh God, I vibe with this girl. Because when you're in company of those confidence individuals, like, it makes you feel self-confident and it makes me feel assured. And like, I know that like there's not going to be some weird jealousy.
Do you like my boyfriend?
Yeah. It's just like, I just love when people are also just so sure of themselves, and it just makes it's a vibe for me.
Once you feel that, it's like none of the old like jealousy, angering things like linger.
Yeah.
Like I still get jealous sometimes. I won't pretend.
Yeah.
Not of you though. Not of other people. I feel good
I get
about
jealous
myself.
of you sometime, but in like a good way.
But like in a good way. I'm like, oh damn, go girl.
Yeah.
But I completely
I'm like, your
agree.
hair, I'm so fucking jealous of. Like, I wish I had your luscious locks.
You added some good ass hair to your head, so don't even say that. Don't even say that. This one says listening without responding or judging, trustworthy, not too friendly with your mans.
Oh,
That was one of them. Honest and checks in periodically.
I feel like I'm too friendly with some mans. Am I too friendly with Jordan?
No,
Okay, good.
I don't think that.
I don't think that.
No, I don't think that
Did
at
he
all.
like? Did he like the carrot cake I brought him?
He
and
loved
wrote him a note.
He
Okay,
loved
good.
it. He really was excited. He goes, "Oh, is that why that's what you guys thought I found in the
Yeah.
fridge?" Because it was like a comedy show, like literally a sitcom.
Trying to keep this a secret from for his birthday party. Yeah.
And he was like, "You guys, Sydney Ellen." He says my middle name. First of all, never says my middle name. And I was like, "Shit." He found the cake.
Fridge.
He found the cake in the fridge. No, he didn't. I ate his food. Okay, and he was mad.
His leftovers. Yeah.
He was pissed.
My other best quality in friends is fun to be around, and they see humor in life. And I think that's just really relieving for me. Like, I need them to be able to find the humor in everyday situations, so I can, like, if curveballs come about, we can't set up a goddamn podcast because we're like, this is confusing as fuck. Like, we can laugh about it and move on and figure it out together. Like, shit like that.
I love that. This one says, there for you without any questions. Loyalty, have your back even when you're wrong. Tell you how it is, though. Not judgmental, but still when they need to be, like when they need to tell you, like, hey, you gotta be better. Pick back up where you left off, with no matter how much time has passed. Both friends giving equal effort.
I want to make a note on that one.
Yeah.
So I have that one down too. It's reciprocal. But I also think that doesn't go for every conversation or every hangout. That goes with seasons of life. And that also goes for romantic relationships. Like, when my mental health is really bad, like, Pat's carrying a lot of the weight.
Totally.
When he was doing his prep for his bodybuilding show, like, I was carrying a lot of the weight. So it's like every conversation, one friend is obviously going to maybe need you more that time. And it's reciprocal in general, not every single time. It's not like you texted her 6 times to hang out and she only texted you 3 times to hang out. Well, maybe her season of life is just a little different right now. So you have to know it's at the end of the day, at the end of the year, at the end of this life, it's reciprocal, you know?
I feel like it when I even say that, like, when I think what they probably meant is like giving equal effort is like what you're saying. It sometimes will be 30-70.
Yeah.
Then it'll be 70-30. Then it'll be 60-40. Then it'll be 40-60. Like, it just depends on what you're doing and where you're at. And thankfully, because you have confidence in the friendship, you can always know that even when you're leaning in a little bit more and they're leaning out a little bit less, or more, you know that it'll eventually be balanced because you know that there's no risk in losing the friendship. You know what I mean? Yep. The last few were they're your biggest cheerleader, vulnerable, like both being honest and getting deeper in your conversations. I want to say something about tells you like you look like shit, LOL, and then comfortable silence. But
I love comfortable silence.
Comfortable silence is a sign. Like, that's when I knew Jordan and I were good, because he wasn't talking. And then I'd be like, should I say something? Do I need to? And then I was like, no, I don't think I do.
That's also when you know you guys have gotten close too with your friends. It's like just hang out and chill. Like
Like it doesn't need to be talked every second.
and I think that's why it's sometimes hard, especially after COVID for me to like hang out with friends. Cause I think it has to be conversation all the time. Like if I get coffee, like, oh my God, like there's a lot of pressure around having conversations and
Get it.
all of that. And a lot of times I feel drained and I don't want to have to do that. So like having those friends you can just like hang out with and not talk, just be around someone is so important. And yeah, that's why I miss my girl Vanessa, because we literally hang out and give each other back massages and not talk. Like we would
so
just
nice.
give each other back massages.
That's so nice though.
I know.
V's great. The one I was going to say is like going deeper in other conversations, like in about your life. Like I have moved away from friendships because one person would literally just kind of get stuff out of me. And then I knew nothing about her.
Oh.
Like it was almost like I would tell her everything. She's like, tell me about you. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your life. How's this? How's that? How's the other thing?
Or obviously the other way around.
Yeah. And then I couldn't get anything out of her.
Oh.
It almost felt like I was at a therapy session. And I'm like, why do I not know anything about you? Like, I don't know anything about you. It's weird.
Yeah, that is
and it made
strange.
me feel strange. And it also made me feel like, are you actively judging me? Or like, are you curious about my life? Or are you wanting to like understand and give criticism? I don't know. I just couldn't, it didn't feel good. And that's how I knew. My gut told me that doesn't feel good. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, it's either that or she definitely needs to go work on her own emotions and figure that out. Wow.
Wow, is that right? How to make friends. We should talk about this before we forget.
Oh my God, I thought we were done.
We forgot about that. We were literally, there was so much to talk about though. Like, why are we so psycho? We talked about it here and there.
I knew this was going to be a long one.
I know, but it's such a good one.
I know.
We'll be kind of quick on this part, but we've talked about this one and then let's just go tit for tat.
Yeah.
Finding things that are interesting to you. Like, let's say I like going to coffee shops, going to gyms, going to all these things. Like, those are the people that have similar interests to you. So in blatant sight, in the things that you are already doing, there are people there doing the same things that you like because they like them.
Yep.
Therefore, they likely have somewhat similar life patterns as you.
So that's pretty much my tip is like put yourself in those situations where you would find people with a similar interest. Like maybe you love biking and you join a bike club. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then once you're there, so you're intentional. And then you kind of have to like act on it and not during the first bike club hangout. Maybe after you talk to them like a couple times, right?
It's almost
like dating. Like then you'd be like, hey, I'm new to the city. This is really weird, but I'm literally looking for friends. Like we should totally grab coffee sometime if you're down for it. Like I almost love that like honesty. Like do it.
Then I'd be like, yeah.
Be intentional, hang out a few times, then act on it. And like it's so funny that this is the conversation and I just brought this up because this guy at Barry's the other day, he's visiting from like, I think it was like California and he's doing some like ultrasound something in Rochester. So he's been coming to Barry's for his workouts and he's like, you guys, like what do people do? He comes up to the front desk. He goes, you guys, what do people do on the weekend here? Like
cute.
I don't know. I don't have any friends. Like I don't know what to do. And I was like writing a list down to give him. He's like, if you go out, I know this is crazy, but if you go out or do anything, would you text me? And me and Taylor are both there. And so we're like, yes, we started a group message, but he literally just came out and said, hey, I don't have friends. I just like am bored out of my mind. Like if you guys do something, will you hit me up?
What if someone said that to you? What would you say?
I was like, I literally said, fuck yeah, here's my number. Like
right there.
And it's so scary putting yourself out there, but you literally have to do that. Yes, you can go to Bumble BFF and do it over the phone if you want to, but I think you can do both.
I think you do both.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool. Like think about in the reverse, like it's not that awkward. You'd be like, oh my God, of course we can help you like figure out your plans. Of course we can help you figure out what you want to do over the weekend. I love that. I think it's honest. Also, another tip is like, do you have people that you follow on Instagram that you've never really gotten to know that have similar patterns for you? Maybe they've crossed paths. You see that they go to Lifetime or Barry's all the time, but you never go at the same hour. Maybe say like, hey, this is really awkward. I'm trying to like make new friends in the city, or like, I've always thought you were really cool. Would love to do a workout class or something with you, or like something like very cash. Don't make it creepy. You know what I mean? That like, just be like, I just thought you were cool. Like I'm making new friends and I thought you seemed really chill, like blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Just be honest. Like that's easy enough. You can leave it clean, simple like that. Or even somebody that like, for instance, let's say, I don't know how to describe this in person. Maybe I've seen you out like a few times, like at random, you and your friends out. And I'm like, oh my God, her friend Sarah is just like, we seem so similar. Like we've said hi or whatever. Like DM Sarah and ask if she wants to do something. DM her, say like, would you ever want to grab a coffee? Like, yeah, you can be honest. I'm making new friends, or like I'm trying to, whatever.
And as the person
trying to get out there,
and as the person asking, or as the person receiving the question, you're almost like, oh my gosh, they just put themselves out there. You're not gonna say no. And if you do, like for example, I was talking about how, okay, well, what do you mean, Sophie? You're literally just saying you don't have time to grab coffee with people.
I'm like,
but no, if I didn't have someone, I would give him another name. So for example, this guy, I said, I'm lame, to be honest. So I'm also you should sign up for Matt's class on Wednesday morning, because this dude was talking about polar plunges. And I go, I'm pretty sure he has like this guy group that he texts and they do like workouts together and stuff. Yeah. So I go, you should take his class and chat with him after class. So if I personally couldn't do it, he was so nice and so, he has put himself out there, then I'm going to give you someone else that can help. It's definitely, and then all of a sudden I'm taking class and I go, oh my gosh, he vibes with that guy. I should introduce those two. Like, you just have that person in mind then.
I always feel like I'm like taking little notes about people too, so that I can do that.
Yes.
Like I like introducing people. I like giving them like, you're so similar to this person. Like you guys would get along. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not awkward. Like you just got to keep putting yourself out there. Here's my one last like little tip is like, sometimes when you feel like you're alone, the friends that are not your BFFs, but people that you have right around you that are kind of also maybe feeling alone and you feel a little more distant from them because you've never gotten close with them, are also looking for a new friend. They're also the ones wanting to make new friends. They're the ones that are maybe feeling like they don't have that many close friends. You might have friends in plain sight that are feeling the same as you, because nobody wants to admit that they're lonely. Nobody wants to admit that they don't feel good around some of their other friends. So take a gander and be like, this is an acquaintance that I always thought was really, really nice. Wow, I never thought about like being friends with them.
Yeah.
Never thought about that.
Yeah. And I mean, we mentioned this earlier, but like definitely quantity
over quality. Because if you got a lot of friends, you the baddest beat.
But no, definitely quality over quantity. Like don't stress out about how many friends you have. Like it's literally comes down to how you feel when you're around these people. And that's what you need to focus on for sure. Okay, we got to wrap this shit up. Do we have a straight candid listener moment?
Yeah, we do. I actually wrote down 3 because I was like, ooh, which one do I want? I was going to just pick one off my like.
Ooh, I see some key words that I like.
Okay. I'm going to go with the last one because this one I just couldn't believe. There is no harm in using a vibrator every now and then, or so I thought. I was using my vibrator when my mom walked in my room to apologize for being rude earlier in the evening.
Wait, did I read this or am I having deja vu?
Oh my God.
I've already read this.
No.
In my head. I think I read it on our forums.
What? I was like, I've never read this. Have you?
Oh my gosh. No, I don't think
so.
I hope
it's
not. So good.
I had no idea what to do. So I crossed my legs trying to hide the slightly audible vibration that was going on. My mom proceeded to sit next to me on my bed and hug me while the vibrator was still on. To make matters worse, as she's hugging me, my sister also walked into the room to look for her sweatshirt. As soon as they left, I bolted into the bathroom, wrapped the vibrator in toilet paper, and threw it in the trash. I had no idea if my mom knew that what was going on, but it's safe to say that I will not be using a vibrator anytime soon at my house. Oh my God. Can you imagine your mom being like, you know what, honey? Come here. Bring it in with mama.
She's like,
you were a sweet girl. You were a kind little chicken. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that's the most unfortunate thing
So
I've ever
unfortunate.
heard.
Also, it's really intimate. Like using your vibrator, you're very relaxed. You're spread eagle. You're like, oh my God, like I'm living the dream. Like I'm living my own world. I'm up here. My eyes are closed. And then to open your eyes, your mom's like, honey, hi, I just want to apologize. I'm like, oh.
Okay. Have you ever had someone walk in when you were masturbating?
Yeah.
Did you stop?
What? Of course I stopped. What in this Jiminy Christmas are you going to say?
Sometimes I'm literally like, I literally can't stop.
What are you talking about?
Not in front of my mom.
I know, but who?
But like Pat, like he'll walk in. I'm like, I'm masturbating.
Well, but I love that you guys are so open about that.
Well, like we have a small place.
I know
like, sometimes
like
I just want to use my vibrator. And like if I was respectful and like wanted to respect the privacy, I would like stop it. But like if I'm close,
well then
I work way too hard for that.
It's a lot of work
to let it go. Absolutely,
fair enough.
Not.
Fair enough. Oh my God. Can I read this other quick one? I'll save the other one for later. Okay. I just wrote quick LOL.
Only got 6 grabs if it's good. Maybe wait.
Maybe should I wait?
I
should wait. Actually, you know what? Sorry, boys and gals. I'm going to wait. I'm going to move this down.
Me just
You're like, by the way, just in case. Oh my God. That was a really, really good episode.
That was
like
long.
very good. Yeah, but it was damn good, wasn't it?
It was really good.
It feels good when you record a good episode and you're just like, that was a success. Also, just feel like we're back on our like swing of things. We're in the studio. Like we also like know what's going on now. I don't know. We're working towards like knowing what our 2023 is and like the topics we love and all the things. So I feel damn good.
I feel damn
Thanks
good.
for being a good friend.
Thanks for being a good friend too, baby.
I wish I could like hug you, but I'm not holding my mic, so I have to stay over here.
We can't snuggle anymore, honey. Yeah, you guys. So that's what we got this week. If you have any straight kind of moment submissions, please go to our link in bio. And then also I noticed on Spotify, you guys, that so we always said go to Apple Podcasts, rate and review, but you can also give 5 stars on Spotify. So if you could, our Spotify is lacking compared to our downloads. So please go to Spotify and give us 5 stars if you can.
That would
if
be
you're gonna
huge.
give us
I'm
4
serious.
stars, like don't even bother. So
don't even bother. Or like that one guy that said put 1 star and is like, this is not a comedy podcast. I'm like, oh.
Well, what do you want us to, what category? There was literally like nature.
I think it was nature, sports, and like entertainment. And we're like, okay.
No,
or comedy. I meant.
Yeah, entertainment wasn't
comedy.
one.
It was comedy.
We wanted entertainment.
Yeah. Well, sorry, we can't do anything about that now.
Oh.
At Candid Syd is my name.
At Candid Soph, and you can follow both of us at Straight Candid Podcast. And we got our girl Taylor. Taylor, what's your handle?
At TTK.
Ooh. I always wonder when people are listening to end of this and they're in their car and they're like waiting for it to end and they're like, are they done? Surprise! No, we're not. Just kidding. But seriously, go rate and review if you can and follow us because we just need those digits, okay?
Bitches, I'm
All
yawning.
Right. Love you guys. Bye.
I'm yawning.
You're yawning? Are you sleepy?
Yeah.